I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. Trying to figure out who I am, or who I'm supposed to be. Feel good about where I stand, so I can make the most of me. Coming back down from space, a million miles away. There's a lot of love in this place, and I'm just trying to say I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Been a long time living this way, worrying about what people say. Feeling like I don't fit in, but I won't give up. No, I won't give in. Been looking for something more. What you really looking for? It's been with you super born since you were born. Don't you know you're good? You're good, you're good, you're good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. You only live once. I'm good with myself. I'm there for my friends until the very end. You only live once. I'm good with myself. I'm there for my friends until the very end. I want to see another love revolution. Find a way to be a better person. If we come together like we should, we could all be good. 'Cause I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Living life just like I should. Wouldn't change it if I could. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
We are good. And this is a good day.
It is.
Because today and every day we have swung wide the doors to the presence of God, knowing that the Spirit is in this place and in all places and all people. Just as the sun awakens us to a new day, the Spirit of God within awakens us to divine glory. This glory within and around us is everywhere we look and in every situation we encounter. With our hearts centered in the Spirit, we can quiet our thoughts and meditate on the wonder of all God's creation and our oneness with it. Take a deep breath. Become comfortable. And gently release any cares of the day. Your sole purpose, your one and only purpose at this moment is to experience the divine. And you begin to do so now as you relax in this sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. Seeing through the eyes of oneness and acknowledging our oneness, we at Unity Spiritual Center celebrate and honor people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age, and of every lifestyle, knowing there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. And that God is expressing through all people in unique, special, and individual ways. As you look at the flame of the candle we light every Sunday, remember that you, yourself, carry a divine flame within you as individualized expression of God. We honor the one presence and power of God with Unity's foundation statement, which you'll find on the screen. And I invite you now to join me in saying it aloud together. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. We give thanks for our spiritual community and for the beauty of our spiritual center. We give thanks that Unity Spiritual Center is a welcoming, warm, and inclusive community dedicated to studying and putting into practice empowering principles and tools for happiness, health, prosperity, and successful living. We give thanks that with our spiritual teachings we can create extraordinary lives and a peaceful planet through our relationship with the loving God presence within each of us and through our relationships with each other. Our vision and the opportunity for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to, and that you know your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. If you are visiting us for the first time, and I know we have a few visitors, we have two gifts for you that you should have already received when you walked through the door. If you haven't already, please see an usher when you leave. They are a welcome packet with information about Unity in general and about Unity Spiritual Center of San Francisco in particular, and a shell lay with a tag that reads, "Just as God has a design for every shell in the sea, God also has a design for your life." We know that being around a table can give us a sense of connection, so that's why you'll see tables in our sanctuary as a symbol of the warmth and hospitality we can enjoy when gathered together. Each table includes communal journals in which everyone at any time is invited to share a poem, prayer, meaningful quotation, or even just a personal reflection. So another way that we can get to know each other. We, of course, also set up food tables. So please join us following the service for our hospitality hour in the room next door, where we have an opportunity to meet and greet each other over coffee and cookies. We would love to get to know you better. And if you have any questions about Unity, please don't hesitate to contact me or Reverend Maggie, who can't be with us this morning, but her contact information is on the back of the newsletter in your welcome packet. At this time, we move into the meditative part of our service and prepare to raise our voices together in song. I'd ask that you turn off or mute all cell phones, and electronic devices. Thank you. Let us stand and let us sing.
I think we're going to meditate on this one. We're going to keep seated.
Okay.
And we're going to put these words up on the screen. And this is all about you. And it's all about us and how we reflect on the world. So as you sit back and you wonder, why can't things change? This is why. We have to think about that. You have to actually do it, which is tough. So the melody sounds like this. Let's try it. Only as high as I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. I'm going to play the melody one more time, and you guys think about what you just sang. Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. Only as high as I reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. Only as much as I dream can I be. Only as much as I dream can I be. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, as we continue to get comfortable in our seats, relaxing even more deeply into the time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word. And do I have a volunteer to read today's daily word?
Hey, let me do it.
Okay. Yes.
I never get to do this.
Well, now's your chance.
In full awareness and in infinite love, I embrace hope. I am familiar with that fluttery sensation within me that tells me something wonderful is waiting to express. Hope is a thing with feathers, according to the poet Emily Dickinson, that perches in the soul. Hope is my expectation that spirit is at work in my life. I may not know how it will express, but I wait in excited anticipation. Palm Sunday is a thing with feathers, a time of awareness that a magnificent new dimension of spiritual expression is about to take place. The process may be chaotic and painful, but the hope perching in my soul knows that the next step on my spiritual journey is at hand. In full awareness and in infinite love, I embrace hope. And you will have confidence because there is hope. You will be protected and take your rest in safety.
You should do that more often. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. At this time, I'd like to invite the usher to bring forward the prayer box forward to our altar. Please take a moment to hold the requests in this box in your heart and know that perfect divine love is enfolding each person represented in this prayer chest, and divine order is taking place for all concerned. The prayer requests placed in this box are prayed on by our minister and our USC prayer team for 30 days and are then forwarded to Silent Unity at Unity's World Headquarters, where they are prayed on for an additional 30 days. Prayer request forms are available on the table in the back of the sanctuary. And at this time, we want to make our prayers audible. This is the time to offer your prayer needs to your spiritual family here so that we can support you and stand with you. As Michael plays the music, you are invited to speak your prayer aloud, and we will answer each prayer request by singing, "Your prayer is my prayer too."
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. 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 Your prayer is my prayer too.
We have also created a space in our service for you to share your blessings, what you're thankful for. This is your time to speak aloud anything for which you wish to give gratitude.
I'm going to start. Tomorrow's my mother's 96th birthday. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the feelings of connection, peace, and warmth that fill our hearts and minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community and around the globe. And we affirm that always and in all ways, divine love and divine order is everywhere present. At Unity Spiritual Center, your prayer is our prayer too. And so it is.
There is no political solution to our troubled evolution. Have no faith in Constitution. There is no bloody revolution. We are living the spiritual life. 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 Our so-called leaders speak with words they try to jail you. They subjugate the meek, but it's the rhetoric of failure. We are living the spiritual life. 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 Where does the answer lie? Living from day to day, and it's something we can buy. There must be a better way. And we are living the spiritual life. 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 We are living the spiritual life.
Okay. I'll let Michael sit down. Living the spiritual life indeed. Brother David Stendhal Rast said, and I don't know who he is, I just heard this quote, "Sometimes people get the mistaken notion that spirituality is a separate department of life, the penthouse of existence. But rightly understood, it is a vital awareness that pervades all realms of our being." And as I believe Reverend Maggie said last week, we are, all of us, spiritual beings. We are all living a spiritual life and all on a spiritual journey right at this very moment. We can try to deny it, but what good does that do? Why not just give in and accept it and recognize our spiritual natures? Who knows? Things might even go a little easier. I was recently talking to my spiritual director, and we discussed the importance of knowing and being aware of your own spiritual journey. Living the spiritual life requires some reflection. In order to know where we are and where we're going, it's often helpful to know where we've been. Now, to that end, I'd like to start out with some highlights about my own spiritual life to date, just as an example. As a way of introduction, though, I do like to say that I was raised Methodist, became but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Ecumenism, that's me. I was born into a fairly religious family. My grandfather was a minister, though I never met him. He died when my dad was 13 or so. But his influence, my grandfather's influence, was felt over the decades nonetheless. The 6 of us in my immediate family attended a small Methodist church in the tiny village where we lived in rural northeastern Pennsylvania. There I learned community and what it means to worship and what it means to sit still in the pew during worship. I also learned some magic tricks from my Sunday school teacher when I was in 5th grade. Fortunately, I remember more about the lessons on community and worship than I do the magic tricks. That little community nestled there in the hills of Pennsylvania was a source of caring and love which I'll never forget. It was later, though, when we were attending a Presbyterian church in town being 7-10 miles away, that I began to have doubts. I was college age at the time, a good time to have doubts. And in the midst of these doubts, what was I doing but teaching Sunday school myself to 3rd and 4th graders, but no magic tricks. It was my first but not the last time that I would discover that God can have a sense of humor. Here I was, having these doubts in this formative period of my life, while imparting the faith to this class of very impressionable kids. Even at that time, I realized it was an interesting juxtapositioning. A few years later, after college, I heard the call to enter seminary. I wasn't bold or brave enough at that time to say I was called into ministry. I was called to seminary. I was taking this one step at a time. Now, I was still Presbyterian and ended up bucking the Presbyterian system, as I often buck systems, by attending a non-Presbyterian seminary. Now, those Presbyterians really want you to attend their schools, I learned. But I really believe, and still to this day, I really believe that God's hand was in my choice of seminaries. It was at this seminary, Andover Newton, outside of Boston, that I started doing an internship in a big downtown Boston church. Well, the building was big. It was one of those neo-Gothic piles of stone. The congregation was medium to average size, but it was big on social justice issues. It was involved in the sanctuary movement of the time, cared about the poor and the homeless, opened its doors to anyone who would enter. It was where I finally felt like I wasn't a square peg in a round church hole. I finally found somewhere that fit me, where I fit. After years of fairly conservative, almost evangelical congregations, I was spiritually at home. Now, it was there, in the lower level of that neo-Gothic pile of stones, during an adult education class, that I was sitting with about a dozen other attendees of the class when a man, Bob Johansson, I still remember him, who was across the circle from me, began a sentence by saying, "Well, as a gay man and a Christian," I have no idea what he said after that, but that very moment was a major turning point for me. People are gay and Christian. I could be gay and Christian. People of faith came in all sorts of sexualities, I learned, and I could count myself in rather than standing on the edges, not sure. Or worse, trying to be someone I wasn't. I learned some more lessons about community and caring and the enormous love of God in that church, which I'm still in touch with. And my seminary was likewise a fairly welcoming community that cared for its students. I got to know many friends and professors there, some of whom I'm still in touch with today. I felt at home in both places like I hadn't before. Now, during this time, I also spent a year studying at a seminary in Australia. Australia isn't the most religious place in the world, but there are faithful people there. I was part of a seminary that was connected with the Uniting Church of Australia, which encompasses a wide range of beliefs, from charismatic to very progressive, and that range was exhibited in the student body of the seminary, and we all had to get along. It was here that I learned that not only is God's welcome wide, but once in a while the human church's welcome can be wide too. Sometimes they do a better job down under at welcoming everybody in our places of worship here. Often do. Now, all this was in the late 80s, and I was ordained in 1997 after several years of struggle against the church powers due to my sexuality. But after switching denominations and making a move across the country, I found a safe haven here in Northern California in, as I said, the Disciples of Christ. And it was here that I learned a little more about God's sense of humor. They say if you want to hear God laugh, tell God your plans. Well, I declared in seminary that I didn't want to serve a local congregation, and I would certainly never, ever serve in a suburban congregation. Well, guess what? I spent 13 years in a disciples congregation on the peninsula. That'll teach me. That congregation patiently helped to shape me as a pastor and minister. We parted on very good terms, and that group of people is still important to me. Which brings us up to today. Here I am at a Unity congregation telling you about my spiritual life. I am continually amazed at what God has in store for me and what God wants to teach me. Now, I don't want to take all the attention here. I imagine as I've been giving you, or I hope that as I've been giving you these brief highlights of my spiritual journey, that you may have had some moments where you've thought about your own, about what has been part of your faith life to date. Well, I'm going to do something that maybe some of you might not like, but we're going to try it anyways. I'd like you to break up into groups of 2 or 3 people to talk about your own spiritual life so far, just for a few minutes. Just hit some of the highlights. What has been important to you in your faith journey? You might have to move around a little to get closer to other people, but share with each other, trusting the parts of your life that you are willing to share with others in this community. So go ahead, find somebody else, 2 or 3 people. And I'll ring the bell when we're finished. it sounds like there's been some sharing. I think you've learned something about each other, but I hope more importantly you've learned something about yourself. Now, I invite you to just keep you continuing on reflecting about your spiritual life from the past to the present. Where do you stand? How has your spirituality influenced the rest of your life, or does it? I leave you to ponder these and other questions. Amen. Now, as preparation for our meditation time, we'll sing Holy, Holy, Holy.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. You are. You are holy.
Today's meditation, I'm going to read a poem by Anna Leigh Somerville called Spiritual Journey. So I invite you to close your eyes and get comfortable where you are sitting. Concentrate on your breathing for a moment. Let your thoughts come as they will, but gently remove them from your consciousness without blame or guilt when they happen. Now take a deep breath and hold it, and then exhale. Do that again 2 more times. 2 deep breaths, hold, and exhale. Continue to breathe, but relax even more deeply as I begin the meditation. Across from the mountains, a little house sits in the trees. I'm lost in tranquility as my soul tries to breathe. White clouds moving slowly. The breeze calm still. I'm caught in the moment as my heart starts to heal. A piece of me in the startling blue sky. As I spread my wings, my soul starts to fly. I fly to unknown places where pain and hurt once dwelled. As the memories flow past me, my eyes start to swell. Teardrops drip slowly down my cheeks. wind wipes them dry and gives me some peace. Soaring so free over water and land, my spirit guide gently takes me by my hand. Shows me what it was and what it's meant to be, and why my life is so important, it seems. A long soar, like the eagle on high. I bow my head. And I start to cry. Back on the land, across from the trees, I begin to realize what healing means. It means not to forget. Let the past flow of all the horrors one's soul had to go. To take the strengths and apply them to life as a valuable lesson I've learned in this flight. Alone in the sunset, I watch it go down. When I finally realize what peace I have found. I invite you now to take another 3 breaths deep and into your soul. And slowly start to move your fingers and toes. Twist your neck a bit. And slowly come back to this space. And when you're ready, open your eyes and rejoin the community. Unity offers positive, practical, and progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respect each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. Please join me in saying them aloud. They will be on the screens behind me. Our vision is, centered in God, we co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is,
we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love.
And our values are,
we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity.
And in this space, feeling so inspired by our mission, values, and vision, and feeling so enriched by what we've experienced here today, let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. Practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a spiritual community, we are pleased to tithe 10% of the offering collected today to United Online Radio and West Central Region. Let us take a moment to bless our tithes and love offerings cupped in our hands or next to our hearts as we say our offering blessing, which is on the screens.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Thank you, God.
This is the place where we shall dare our feet at last on the ground with love in the air. But where are our crowns? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? As we keep tearing around, trying to improve. But where are our crowns? There ought to be crowns. Just when we start conquering fears, finally knowing the place that we needed was here, making our entrance again with our usual flair, sure of our lines, the message is clear. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that I'd sink what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are our crowns? Send in the crowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Finding our calling this late as we volunteer. But where are our crowns? There ought to be crowns. Well, maybe next year. He made me do it.
Let us say the blessing of the offering.
We give thanks for the many blessings that are out in the church this very moment. We open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that are ours to choose. We are filled with a mighty faith that empowers and frees us to live our divine purpose and serve our community with excellence. And so it is. Amen.
And we turn now to the announcements, which I'm getting here. On the tables in the back, you'll see bins with books and CDs that were part of the collection of Basil Brummel. Please feel free to look through them and to take anything you'd like as a remembrance of him. And even if you didn't know him, you are invited to take something of interest to you. There's a lot to choose from there. This is the last Sunday that we'll have them out, so please do take a look. Next week is Easter. Yeah, already. We have a wonderful celebration planned, so plan on coming and bring the kids. Find some kids, bring them. It'll be followed by a potluck brunch, so do sign up to bring a dish to share. And Rosa has the sign-up sheet. Okay. So make sure you sign up, bring something good.
Your best dish.
On April 8th, the Serendipity Singers will be back to look at our theme for April, which is community, through songs and stories. It's always an uplifting service, so please do invite your friends and family members. And Sylvia has an announcement. And there is a sign up in the back for it.
Yes, there is. It's easy reading and you learn so much. Please come.
Thank you. So let's bring in our kids.
I said, now this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Today we did spring collages, and we went through magazines cutting out things that represented spring, such as flowers. And then we also cut out things that we might want to accomplish in the spring. So for myself, I just cut out this adventure sign. And then the girls will share a little something too.
In springtime, we look outside and see the wonder all around us. Then we look inside and see the wonder and beauty in our house. Spring is a nice season. The flowers bloom. Sometimes it blows. Best part about spring is I like food. Love, peace, and joy. Find peace with it.
We can bless our children. Oh, yes.
We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the presence of God in you, empowering you to do great things. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Thank you, God. Okay, there's my experiment with the police.